Hi guys, here is another quick tip tutorial. I want to show you how to create such type of image, a few compositing techniques in Blender and Photoshop. So as you can see here, this I would call it cutout daubing paint technique because this is basically combination of two main filters, and I'll show you how to make something like that also, and just a few interesting colors. So we will start from the Blender. Here is not too much things to do. You have to, if you have some nature assets, just place them on a background, and basically this is we're gonna be using two layers. On the first layer, place all of your forest assets. All of your trees. You can place a bird to make it a bit more interesting. On the second layer, and this is gonna be just environment, and you can place on this layer also the moon. And under the moon, you can also, let me grab this one. Under the moon, you place the lamp, the sun lamp, and you make, of course, your moon object. Let me show you here. Uncheck shadow, so the moon object will let the rays of the lamp to go through the mesh. So you have to select both layers, and we go here. Here is, let me delete quickly all of these, this one, this one. So we have two layers only. This is trees and ferns, and this is gonna be our forest layer, trees and ferns. In my case, this is called, and this one our environment layer, where is only the moon and the lamp. Here is my layer. How do we make our forest completely black? You may think that we can just add a material which will be override all of the other materials, so the black material. You can do that if you don't have the transparent materials like I have here, all of these leaves. So I cannot use that because we have leaves and they are transparent. If we will choose the black, any black materials to override others, we will just will be left with black squares. We don't want that, so we will have to render it completely. So we need only the use surfaces. Check this box and exclude all of the other layers, so we will not have any lights shining on this our forest layer. That's why our forest layer will be black, because it will not be affected by any light sources if you have any. If you don't have any light sources on this layer or on all of the other layers, you don't even have to exclude them, except of the environment. Environment you should have be excluded. So environment, you uncheck, you leave this box unchecked, and all of these other layers are going to be excluded. So now we can go to the node editor. So this I have already rendered. The first layer looks like that. Let me show you quickly. Like that. So as you can see, the background is transparent, and that's transparent because I didn't tell you, but we should have checked this transparent box here. This is important before you render. You have to check this. Transparent should be here. And if we render it, our forest will be black, and we'll have our leaves looking like that and not black squares. And our environment looks like that, without a moon, as you can see. And here is image. Image is only our moon. So we can combine it by using this add node. It will look like that. But if the environment is too dark, you can use a lot of different nodes, but for to make our tutorial quicker, we just will use RGB curves to make it a bit brighter. And now we can combine our two layers together. So the forest should go on the top. In the Blender, top is below, so again against any logic, but yeah, so you have to place the render on the bottom, and it will mean on top of the environment. So this is how it's gonna look, but I will use different image that I have already rendered before, and this image looks like this one. This is the image. So I'll be using this image, and we'll jump into the Photoshop to make this image a little bit more interesting. So I'll go here. Here's our image. How to import the image in the Photoshop, I think you know. So we'll start from this one. Now to what we see here. Probably we want to add a bit more glow, if we forgot to do it in the Blender, of course. If we didn't add a fog glow, it's much easier and to do it in the Photoshop, and sometimes it can save you a lot of time and stuff like that. So gradient we're gonna be using. Just you select your layer, you go here, gradient, and check radial. Grab this. I'm just using my left mouse to position this gradient on the top of your moon. And now we can change the scale a bit, like so. Now what else? So left click on here, so we can enter some colors here. The white color will be in the center, will indicate the center color, and this red color, but we will change him on blue, like that. It will indicate, it will represent our blue color. We can add additional colors in the middle. If you see this the palm icon, and when you see that, left click on your mouse and it will add another this bar. Then you can drag towards the side you like and change the color of that as well. And once you are happy with the result, click just OK and OK. And now we can change this blending mode of the gradient layer to the hard light. If you're not happy with the result, left click on this one twice, and you go here again, and you would probably need to change the colors a bit, like so, and change this one to something like this, maybe. Yeah, something like this. Okay. Now drag this below. You can see these rulers or something, and from this side, so you can drag and see your image better, or you can just control minus, control plus, and it will zoom in, zoom out from your image. Now what we will do, we will add exposure. So go to this effects tab and add exposure, and we'll just change the gamma a little bit to make but we'll place exposure below, so we don't change the gamma of our gradient fill. We will just change the gamma of our layer if we will just drag this layer by using your left click mouse below the gradient, not replace. I don't want that, so just drag like sorry, like that. So now we'll be changing the exposure only for this layer below. I mean the gamma correction. So if you want, of course. But I want to make our background a bit brighter, so I will use something like this. Now another effect, another thing I want to tell you, of course, you can change the opacity of any effect, so it will make the effect 100% of the strength or 0%. If you're changing the opacity, it will just disable your layer if you go to 0, and this will be 50% of the strength of the effect, and this is 100% of the strength. So basically changing opacity, you can just change as well the how it will be affecting our layers. And now another effect that we want to add is, if you go here but not to the gradient fill, we have to select the layer, and now we will add, where is that effect, a photo filter. Change the density to 100, and you have a lot of different presets here, so you can check make it warm or cool filter, and you can see that red, orange, yellow, you have green. But what I like especially, like I like cyanic, I like deep blue, I like deep emerald, deep yellow, and underwater. But I will stay with the cyan for now, and I will select this photo filter. I may change the opacity a little bit if I want to something, maybe 90. Maybe 90. You know what? Let's just leave it for 100 for now. And select this layer now. If you you can just stay with that. If you like this look, you can finish here. Here you can stop. But here in the Photoshop we have a few interesting filters. Actually, it's a lot of them. But in the filter gallery, if this is grayed out, you have to go to image mode and change to 8-bit channel, because these filters are not working with 16-bit channel, so you have to change to 8-bit, and filter gallery. And what you have here, you have this a lot of artistic filters. You have this, and you're playing with these values basically. So there are a lot of them here. As you can see, if I'm clicking, and here brush strokes, so you can see this one is interesting, ocean ripple. This is what it's doing. This one, glass, interesting as well. Pastels, Some other filters will make it look like a picture on a wall. Not this one. I think it, yeah, pastels or on the painting, I think. But what I want to show you is point doubts. If you go here, click OK, so you have this result. I've been playing with that, and if you go again to the filters now, sorry, if you go filter, is this one, filter gallery, and to the cutout, then you will have doubling. One effect will be like layering on top of another, and it will give you some interesting looks. As you can see here, you can make it more cut out, just barely can see any details, or like this. But I like to leave the edges prominent, visible, so we can see our owl here, and all of this nice lightening the edges. I think I like something like that. If you click OK now, and you can see what you don't need now. Maybe you don't need exposure, maybe also the photo filter may be less intense, so change the opacity of that photo filter. Maybe the gradient is too much, change the opacity of our fog glow, like that, maybe a bit more. So at the end you have something like this. And if you playing with those filters, you can have some really interesting result. You can of course change the any look for the photo filters as well. This one is interesting. Sepia may work. Yes, so but I will stay with either underwater or cyanic. Okay guys, so hopefully it was useful. Thank you for watching. See you next time.